You're listening to continuing coverage of Arizona's rising real estate on Arizona's Morning News.
All right. Is the rising done with, though? A Zillow report shows that the average sale price for a Valley home went down by $14,000 last month. So let's talk with Sindy Ready, who's a board member of the Arizona Association of Realtors, about where our real estate market goes from here. Cindy, nice to talk to you again. Is the drop in home prices going to continue? I mean, $14,000 is nothing to sneeze at, but that 1 month drop in the average sale price doesn't seem like a lot when you consider how high prices have gotten.
Sure. So really what's happening is the sellers were pushing the market with every sale. When one would sell, the next one would leapfrog to, $5,000, $10,000 higher than the last sale. And that has definitely stopped. So what's happening now in the market is the sellers are having to be more realistic on pricing. There's more inventory, meaning there's more competition for the sellers, which benefits our buyers, of course, because then we can negotiate a little bit more on the sale of a home. And so it is affecting it slightly in the pricing. 14,000 is about right for our median range, like the 400,000 to 500,000 range. And then if it's up a little higher, like in the million and above, then we're looking at something probably closer to about 20,000 adjustment. But it is very minimal in the course of what we've seen. As you guys know, last year we had 30% appreciation on our
it's crazy.
Cindy, last time we talked to you, you said it was taking an average of about 20 days to go under contract on a home. Has that changed?
It has. It's actually up closer to 40 days on market now. Now, if you're in the lower price points, and by that I mean like in the 350 to 450 range, it is closer to 20 days. But then for an average home, right now we're looking at about 40 days on market. So just back kind of to more of a normal buyer market. And honestly, from a buyer perspective, I wouldn't be afraid of getting out there and buying a house right now. You've got more choices. The sellers are being more open to repairs and negotiating a little bit on pricing. So it's a good opportunity right now to be out there looking at homes. We're
talking with Sindy Ready, who's a board member of the Arizona Association of Realtors, about our changing real estate market. There are some changes here, maybe not huge changes, but it's changing. Are there more, fewer, or the same amount of investors purchasing single-family homes now compared to a year ago? Because I know they were having an effect on the number of available homes for purchase because they were going to turn them around to rent them.
Yeah, so there are less investors in the market right now, which again, from our perspective for our just everyday buyers, you and me trying to buy a house is good, because now somebody who has a loan actually has an opportunity to buy a house, and they're not fighting against several investors that are just paying cash for the homes and kind of scooping them up. So really, again, it's kind of going back to that normal market where an actual buyer with a loan can buy a house, and a good house. I mean, there's lots of options now. Instead of going out and looking at two houses and saying, okay, which one am I going to buy? Now you have an opportunity to maybe look at 10 houses instead. So
with that kind of selection for buyers, and with the interest rates fluctuating, I mean, they actually went down, last week, as far as our mortgage rates. So what are the buyers being the pickiest about here? What do they want most out of a home?
I think right now what they're doing is they're hesitating a little bit because of what the stock market's doing and the interest rates are doing, and they're thinking that there's a crash, but honestly, there is not a crash coming. It's just a market adjustment. We're kind of getting back to a normal market. So they are being a little bit pickier about finishes and things that they're noticing in the house, and taking a little more time. I did have multiple offers on a listing that I have this week, but one of the couples came back 3 times before they even made the offer. So people are taking a little more time coming back and looking at the house a couple times. Before, like, you'd have 15 minutes in a house to look and go, do I want it? Should I buy it?
Right.
I stood in line to look in a linen closet during an open house. Seriously.
That's changed.
They have time.
Yeah.
And more open houses are happening as well. People are, from a real estate perspective, we're getting back to just what we normally had to do to sell a house.
Right. So we're not getting to the point where you can walk through and go, you've got to change the entire color scheme inside, especially that bathroom. That blue is just doesn't work for me.
Right, not quite there. But you can say, hey, the air conditioner sounds a little noisy. Can you get that looked at for me?
Right. No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sindy, thanks so much. Once again, Sindy Ready is a board member of the Arizona Association of Realtors, and the market's changing. Maybe not super dramatically, but maybe just enough that some people might actually get into this idea.
But no crash is coming, and she said now is a great time to buy a house.